Our car guys, enablers, right?
We listen to each other. You know, we put our 2 cents in or 3 cents in.
When you hear things like, no, you're not crazy. No, I'm with you on that. Yeah, you know that you're.
Yeah, well,
you know
that could go either one or two ways. It's not, no, you're not crazy. That's like, or it turns around and it's like, you moron. You know what I mean? Right. So, and if you're actually talking to the right person, they actually take that as both a compliment and as sage advice.
Exactly. You know, speaking of sage advice, I got to do another little promo here. You got to listen to Beyond the Game. This is a great show. Tuesdays at 5 p.m. and Fridays at 3 p.m. Jacob Volk. I know his dad. I was in the Kiwanis Club with Jacob's father.
Yeah.
Dominic Alberino. Alberlino, right. Eric Fischetti. I hear him in the morning all the time. Well, they got a whole cast of characters here. Joe, they got Endor, Eleanor, Chompy Break, down to the latest and greatest in sports. Also, keep an ear out for the exclusive interviews and listen to phone calls, because these guys, it's the younger breed. You know, they're like the age of our kids, but they do know sports. And they know sports like we know cars, which is scary, because if you know kind of like what we know, that's scary.
On a sports level, yeah.
Oh, my word.
Respect. Yeah. Definitely respect.
So, check them out.
Yeah, by all means.
So, Paul, what happened? You've done a whole plethora of stuff with the Jeep. Where are you?
Yes.
Where are you at with the box?
Now, well, the engine's back together, and I'm at the point now where I'm just doing the front end.
See, that's what I like about Paul. He was working on the steering box, but now the engine's back together. So I think I might have missed a chapter. I don't know.
Multitasking.
No, when I had the axle down, I was able to get the oil pan.
There you go.
Excellent. Let's see if we have an oil pan gasket manufacturer on the phone, and we'll say hi. You're on with the Motor Mouths. Yes, caller, you're on with the Motor Mouths.
I hear crickets.
Yeah, I did too.
I think we scared them off.
One more time. You're on with the Motor Mouths. Are you there, caller? All right, we'll have to take that as a no.
Yeah.
Right. I guess we scared another one off. Hey, what the heck?
But anyway.
Yes, anywho.
I forgot how much fun it is to work on a 10-plus-year-old daily driver. Everything I've been working on was pretty much fresh builds or restorations and things. Now I get underneath a dirty, filthy, rusty.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, thank goodness for torches and impact guns.
Oh, you got that right.
And I got a tool. I actually brought
heavy duty like laundry detergent too.
I brought a tool down to the shop because it'll do me more good there than at home, called the Inductor, which is there's a coil, and you put it over anything rusty. Inductor. Inductor. You can look up the mighty Inductor online.
Inductive heating unit?
Yeah. If you hold, that's how I got those rusty brake lines off the Ford van.
Right.
You hold the button. It needs like 3 seconds. You hold a little more, you'll see smoke coming up, and that thing will get hot. And it doesn't touch it, and it doesn't put it so you can use it near a gas tank because there's no open flame.
Yep.
So even Mike Jr. had used it a couple times. He says, "Hey, this week I'm like, listen, I left it here. Use it. It's." I use enough for your stuff.
What's it powered by? It's plug-in?
12. I'm sorry. 110.
House current.
I was going to say it's got to be if it's something like that. I might want to borrow that.
Oh, it's a hell of a tool.
I got a couple of bolts. Those caster adjustment bolts.
Oh yeah.
You
can nuke them things. Yeah, we had one at the shop in Bayside for a little bit while until somebody realized that it was not good to be used as a prying tool. That just because it heated things up, you couldn't do any other violence with it, too. So we cracked that thing.
Right.
And But no, the Inductor is great. I mean, because otherwise the torch comes out.
Right.
I mean, there are some people who just love their torches.
I love my torch. Yeah, it's gotten me out of a lot of things.
Again, I had to heat some stuff on that van, and I said, I know they got a big torch kit, but I said, I am by the fuel tank under here. And I guess, say I've gotten a little smarter with age. You can say it, no one will believe it, but I didn't want to use the torch under the van. I just said, hey, you know what, let's go for plan B.
Yeah, I'm not a torch guy. I mean, I just don't trust myself to drive one of those things. I don't do it enough. But you get the right guy working the controls on one of them. It's amazing what you could do.
Yeah. Well, I just use an acetylene. I mean, I'm not using an oxyacetylene torch. I just have simple one of the turbo torches.
Okay.
Right.
Plenty of heat. Much better than back in the old days, breaking out the propane, going through 2 bottles of that, and still not breaking anything loose. And working on these cars with rusty bolts.
Yeah, you got to have something. Yeah.
Heat is great.
You got to cherry the thing up before anything moves.
You need some way to do it right. And actually, when I got down to the after I put the line on the brakes, I had to that was a hard line that went across the rear end.
Right.
I wanted to bleed them. But, of course, the calipers were rusty and the bleeder screws were not moving. I put the inductor on that, gave me a little trouble. I actually took my hand impact driver with a 10-millimeter socket and whacked the bejesus out of it, inducted it, whacked it, inducted it, whacked it, and they did loosen up. And then, of course, you take them out and you say, how could you give me so much trouble? The threads always look nice. There's a little bit of rust. I'm like, yeah.
That's all it takes.
Oh, I tell you, working on cars and bikes and trucks, it is certainly a
heat and impact
class of its own.
Heat and impact, yeah.
Yes, heat and impact.
I got one of those battery-powered impact guns for Christmas, my birthday, whatever. Oh, that's great.
I actually got a 3/8 and a half-inch.
Yeah, I got the half-inch. I mean, it's got its limitations, but I mean, when you get under there and you just run out some bolts, when there's like an inch and a half of thread there, and it's either get the ratchet out, sit there for 10 minutes, or spin it out in 2 seconds.
We were having a discussion about that last night about the different forms of impact guns. Whether it's the electrics versus the you're running the mill Harbor Freight. Craftsman
and
type
Harbor Freight got some good reviews on this stuff.
On some of the new stuff.
But then, well, actually, when you have to go to the big guns, you got to go to IR. You think it's all Rands.
I'll tell you something. Mike at the shop,
Johnny Wrench and I went. We had that out, and we agreed on it's an Ingersoll Rand thing.
Yeah, I picked up one of those. I picked up at one of Englishtown.
Coming up.
Yeah, it's coming up.
Do you remember the date? We were talking about it yesterday. I don't remember it's coming up in April.
April. I can't remember. I looked it up.
Yeah, I don't know when it is either.
I picked up one of those, older Ingersoll Rand 3/4 inch impact guns.
Oh, geez.
What a great... Well, I needed it for a few times for things. And laying on somebody's table all dirty, $20.
Cool.
For $20, you can't beat it.
Right.
I can't tell you how many times I've used that gun. Just to break some big stuff loose. I was working on the rear axle in this when I first got it, around the leaf spring, and there was some bolts that just did not want to come out. A little bit of heat, 3/4 inch gun.
Done.
Was no issue. What I did do was I picked myself up a nice 1/2-inch air hose and a couple of high-volume couplers, which made all the difference in the world.
I will tell you, I went to these things. I'm using what's called a 3/8 full flow couplers on all my air tools.
What they Type T's or something call them, or
I can show you my phone.
I think probably the same ones I'm using.
Because I was looking at E-Town for them, I couldn't find them last time. But now I'm using a 60-gallon. What's my compressor? 8.5 horsepower dual stage. It's got some oomph. I've worked in shops that ran a whole shop with that damn thing. And when I my tools always had a bit of a zip to them. When I switched to those fittings, bang! It was like going from regular specials to Magnum bullets. It was like, geez.
Yeah, I changed over all my couplings to the high flow couplings for all my standard tools. And big difference.
Definitely the way to go.
By the way, I find out from our Eye in the Sky that April 13th to 15th is E-Town.
Oh, that's only good. That
ain't that far off.
A month away. Yeah.
It might still be cold.
So it's E-Town. It'll probably rain.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
I'm going to have to start begging my bosses now.
I'm just curious to see how it's going to be.
Well, there's no racing that goes on during the swap meet, so that's not a.
Were you at the fall meet?
Was I? I think I was.
It was the worst I've ever seen.
Yeah, I think we did compare notes about that one, right?
Mm-hmm. There was a lot of empty spaces.
Yeah, well, every time there's been more and more empty spaces. I think,
but the spring was killer. Spring was really good.
Yeah, spring, everybody's got spring fever and wants to get in and out.
But, but still, and the fall's always good. People unloading their garages and the people who want to do their winter projects.
Yeah, for sure.
Speaking about getting in and out, we're almost out of here. We got to give you one last chance. This isn't your last chance to donate to WHPC and the station. You can do it. This is
going constantly, yeah.
You can go to the website and you can do it throughout the week. You can get in touch with us at motormouthradio.com. We'll make sure it goes to the right place. You can still call 572-7438 and do that, or you can call us at 572-7440 and talk for about 2 minutes. But remember, all the money that we do raise does stay here at the station, and it does help. It's tax deductible, which is great, which is another good thing, and it does help. The students that come through here do learn radio. They not only just on air, they learn how to produce. There's a production studio. There's a couple production studios over there with state-of-the-art. I mean, I use Audacity, the free version.
You and me both.
To do my stuff. Kim and everybody else that works here, they use the real stuff.
The professionals.
Oh, yeah. It's quite... I've heard some of the promos. If you listen to the other shows, you hear what some of these people crank out. Like my own daughter, she uses a Mac Pro and she's putting movies together. I'm like, how the heck did you do that so fast? And she's doing music cuts and breaks. She's hitting timing posts. I'm like, geez. And I know she's got no real training doing that, but it's just like, oh no, Dad, I just sat and like, wow, it's like we learned how to work on cars and stuff. That's what some of these kids have. I say kids because they're as old as our kids.
They're kids.
They are young adults. They are people.
Like young adults.
Yeah.
In their own right.
Were we ever that young?
we were that young. We were. It was a long time ago.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, like my chiropractor says, he says, in the football field of life, you have more yards behind you than you have in front of you. And I say, oh, my God.
Thanks for the pleasant thought there.
The only good thing is he's a few years older than me. So I say, yeah, but you're going to reach the goal line before me. Well, maybe.
Step on him on the way over.
Yeah, exactly. Well, whatever. No, I need him to be fixing my back, so hopefully it'll be the other way around.
Yeah, let's face it. You got to have an alignment expert these days for your own chassis there.
Absolutely, we do. So so that's the deal. What else is going on, Paul? Anything? I know we didn't get to talk about your drone.
Yeah, it's okay.
So that's always interesting topicality.
The drone. It was just one of those impulse purchases,
It's like us. We just drone on and on and on.
It's pretty fun, though.
Did it again.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a nasty habit, Joe. What can I say?
Yeah, I know. That's okay. When it comes to droning, we're really good at it, right?
We are pretty good at it. That's right.
Yeah. I should have brought it with me.
That would have been
flown it in the parking lot.
Sure.
Yeah. We could fly it around in here.
I thought of it when I was pulling in. I was like, I should have put it in the car.
A few years ago, we did a piece in Full Throttle magazine with the car club that I'm in, the Centurion Cruisers. And what they did is we lined up all the cars in the parking lot in a chevron shape. And someone knew a guy who came in with a bucket truck. And in the bucket truck, he took the picture from above.
Right.
Now,
you do a drone.
You could have done that with a drone.
Yeah, right? With the drone, yeah.
Welcome to the 21st century. All kinds of cool stuff happening.
How easy is
Except
that?
I'd be afraid to fly it over like a car show. It'd be neat, take the pictures, but God forbid that thing
for like imminent failure,
They would hunt you down like a dog.
They do weigh a couple of pounds.
You need drone insurance.
Yeah, they do have it.
Oh, yeah?
They do have it.
I guess for the professionals, they have to. Mm-hmm. If you're flying that stuff over, sensitive areas or.
But there's like an RC club, and if you join this club, you automatically get like $250,000 of liability insurance.
Really?
Yeah, I happen to see it online.
I'm sure Jim knows about that, Joe.
Yeah, I was going to say Jim is quite interested because Jim turns out is a drone guy, and he wants to know what kind of drone it is.
Oh, it's actually just one of the Chinese ones. It's it's made by a company called Bayang Toys. It's the X21. It's a dual GPS drone. I mean, it's for $150. I mean, it's no DJI, but for $150, I can put this thing up in the air, park it somewhere, and it'll stay there.
Nice.
I can fly this thing around. I mean, it's not
just
real.
Don't forget it.
It's not real fancy, but it's a low buck investment into the hobby just to play around.
Go in the house, you eat dinner, you're in front of the TV. A couple hours later, like, oh damn, I left the drone.
Remember, it used to be hunting. Did you bring the dog in?
Yeah, it's like, did you bring the drone in?
Yeah. But I mean, it's like I say, my friend's got some higher end DJI drones, and they got so many more features and capabilities. But for me to play around, I got enough hobbies, but this was just, like I said, a little impulse buy.
You're just a Renaissance man, let's face it. That's okay. Nothing wrong with that, right?
Well, speaking of buy, we got to say bye. We are done. We've done our double bit this week.
Yeah, we've done our penitentiary.
We did raise some money, and we walked in the door with money. We thank all of our benefactors and donors, as well as Pirate Paul, because that's what keeps us going, keeps us here, and we will see some new equipment, like this new board that doesn't have the big red dump button.
Yeah, we got to hook one of them things up.
So we'll be back in 2 weeks, and we'll have more Motor Mouth Radio, so keep it where you got it,
I'm going to go look for dump button now.
Thanks for coming in. We'll see you later.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye-bye.